So, hey, Facebook is down. Instagram is down. Facebook has crashed. Instagram has crashed. The ads are not running. Reels are not uploading. There is wild madness in the streets. What are you supposed to do right now as a business owner? What are you supposed to do as a content creator? What are you supposed to do as somebody trying to manage all of your teams and understand what's going on? We've been here before. I've seen this happen. Let's get down to the bottom of it in the next few minutes. What you need to do right now, because Facebook has crashed, Instagram is down, and the world is potentially ending. I don't know. For what it's worth, I literally went to GoDaddy, and apparently we can buy the URL for Facebook.com, which is super crazy. So if anybody wants to throw me $5-10, we can get in on this thing. Let's chat in the back channels on Venmo. Let's make it happen. Anyway, so what's going on? First off, so the internal, this issue is not just happening with Facebook.com. It is internal at Facebook as well as external. This is affecting WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. This is affecting all players across all platforms. And what this is really telling is three things. Number one, there is, first off, an aggressive hack on the Facebook system, which is something that we've seen before. The outcome of that before was that it was down for a little bit. We got everything back. Sometimes the Facebook ads were running into open space, and you can get ad credits and refunds for all of that. So do not worry. You have not lost any dollars. And anything that you do see delivered in this time, you can absolutely go to Facebook and request a refund for, ask them for ad credits and make goods, and they will honor all of them. That is simple and easy enough to do. I've done it for 15 cents. I've done it for $1 million. Don't worry, it'll work for you. Second thing that's really important is your organic content that is scheduled at this time has failed. The growth that you might be seeing on your reels or your videos or your posts or your groups will be stunted. Understand that the impact that we're seeing here is anything that you plan for your social media accounts so far today is going to be impacted. You need to plan accordingly. Some brands take this by not doing anything. They literally just don't even address it. Some brands make fun of it. I'm in here just trying to let you know what you can do because this is the way that I'm handling it. Third thing that's really important to understand right now is take note of the time that this happens and the level of impact that you're going to see. This is also an amazing opportunity to understand the impact that Facebook has on your ecosystem and your marketplace. If you're running Facebook ads as a primary source of traffic or as a large percentage of where your media is going, now is an amazing time to understand what happens when I don't run Facebook. What happens to the rest of everything for me? You are going to see a drop in traffic volume. You are going to see a really high ROAS on your day, which is why ROAS is a bullshit metric, because your revenue for the day is going to be in relation to your spend much higher than we've normally seen. But that is a false positive because you are seeing the remnants of people already through the journey. What you are going to also see is a suppression in your results for the next day or two because you are not feeding that funnel and seeing people where they are. Now, something really important to reflect on right now that we need to make sure that we are keeping in mind is, where is Facebook down? It is on WhatsApp. It is Facebook Messenger. It is Instagram. It is Facebook. Everywhere where Facebook touches is down. So remember, when we go auto placement, when we try to show people where Facebook ads are going, everywhere that you can't see is where you are advertising when you're on auto placement. So remember, it's not just about trying to optimize for the one experience. It is the entire universe. And what makes Facebook so incredibly powerful is that all the touch points that Facebook is struggling with right now are touch points that you can extract data from to improve your business. Facebook is not just a Facebook newsfeed. Instagram is not just Reels section. WhatsApp is not just a messenger. Facebook Messenger isn't just a way to communicate. These are all touch points of data where Facebook is seeing what people are talking about, what images they're sharing, what videos are being broadcasted, what websites they're going to, and what people are doing so that they can use that information to try to define the best user experience for your content. Because remember, what we are trying to do is test our estimated action rate for our branded estimated action rate for every single element of our ad, our creative, our copy, our headlines, our primary text, and what our pages look like. Facebook takes in the data of literally every touch point they have with over 1 billion users on over 1 million websites, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is a reoccurring, every microsecond, trillions of points of information that Facebook is pulling in to define who your target market could be, who is going to respond positively to your messaging, which is why we don't use targeting. And remember, interest targeting has been obsolete since 2017, and Facebook just did a press release that I've been talking about for a year, and we've been preaching for a long, long time. But they now finally made it official that it hit the Twitter sphere. And apparently everybody's like, oh, wow, look at this thing. Your interest group is now a suggestion. Facebook's not even going to use it to target people. You're just giving it ideas of people to maybe narrow down. And you're going to pay a premium price for that. And remember, we don't use interest groups because what we want to allow Facebook to do is to take all of the data from all of the channels to give somebody the best possible user experience. If you instead say, I don't care about my vendor, I don't respect my customer, and I want to force an ad that I think will work for me on a bunch of people that may or may not care about it, you're going to have $100 CPMs. You're going to have this vast inaccuracy of your reporting data because you are preventing Facebook from seeing all the information. You're preventing Facebook from optimizing towards the information that it does have, and you are keeping it dumb so that you can feel smart, and then you're going to complain that it doesn't work. So Facebook is down right now. Instagram is down right now. WhatsApp is down right now. Facebook Messenger is down right now. All of these data points that Facebook uses so that you can build a better company and scale your business are restricted right now. Look to every single thing that you cannot use right now and realize that these are all tools that you normally are relying upon 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year with every single penny that you spend. That is why Broad works. That is why we care about the customer. We work well with our vendors, and we work to try to get the best branded estimated action rate for every single action and every single ad that we have. If you are not optimizing for that, then you are trying to prioritize ego and ignorance over success. And I don't mean that as a slight. I legitimately mean that as you are trying to push forward what you think is great based on bad information that people who aren't really good at their job have taught you. People selling a $100 solution are not the people that you should be solving your $1 million problem. And if somebody's in the business of giving solutions for $20 a month or $250 a month, do you think that person is going to be the individual to source the solution so that you can take your business from 3 million to 5, or from 5 to 20, or from 8 to 100? The 25-year-old kid that's actually managing all the day-to-day work that is overworked, underpaid, and poorly trained by somebody else that doesn't know how Facebook actually works, which is 95% of you working with agencies. That person does not know intimately how to solve the problem that you have. Facebook right now is down. And what this is giving us is the context to understand all of the marketing touch points that an expert can solve. These are the types of things that we need to look to when we're trying to solve for problems, is getting away from all of the nonsense that people are talking about. Because the exact issue that we're seeing right now with our ability to even use the platform is precisely the reason that you should not be listening to these folks that preach trying to cheat and hack the system. If cheating and hacking the system would work for you, it would be because Facebook didn't need touch points because it didn't have access to all these channels, because it wasn't on a million websites. It wasn't looking at data from everywhere. If Facebook went down, but Instagram worked, Messenger worked, and WhatsApp worked, and Facebook functioned exactly like, say, Pinterest or Amazon or Google or YouTube or anything else that is an inventory or demand-based platform, then it wouldn't matter. But that's not the way it works. So remember, what we need to do right now is evaluate our system and understand that it's going to be okay. We've been here before. We've been here before repeatedly. This is the 5th or 6th time I can remember this thing happening in the last few years. The honest truth is this happens and it's okay. You're going to be fine. If Facebook spends money without your consent, you can ask for a make good. You can go to customer support and get a refund on your money, and it's likely to happen automatically without you even asking for it. And for the record, 99% of individuals are likely to see a spend less than 20 cents in this time. And the real issue is what delivery got spent, what ad spend got delivered in the short amount of time of the error, and Facebook recognizing that. Because remember, we are doing microtransactions on a consistent basis. Every millionth of a second, Facebook is running thousands and thousands and thousands of auctions for every single user swiping up, every single user logging in, every single user refreshing. And yes, you pay on 1,000 impressions. Maybe you spend $20 or $50 or $5 or $100 to reach 1,000 people. You might spend 18 cents today in this downtime because that's what it costs you to reach 3 people before Facebook caught the mistake. Their system is extremely good at this because we've been here before. So what I'm going to try to leave you with here, because I've got, people that are freaking out, and I wanted, to try to help you all feel good and confident about this, because there's no reason to worry. As we creative test it broad with dynamic ads, we extract the post ID of those dynamic ads and continue to run those at broad. You don't need more than one campaign to spend over $1 million a year. And if anybody tells you otherwise, it's because they don't know what they're talking about. Facebook experts and gurus, the folks that are teaching the advice, teach you what has worked for them for the last 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, based on the information that they've either learned themselves or have been taught from Facebook. Now, when Facebook teaches that information, it's based off of studies that they have done for 3 months or 6 months. So by the time you learn it, it's at least a year to a year and a half old. Now, where does Facebook learn what to do? It's from members of the disruptor community, the disruptor group. The lessons that we in the disruptor group had taught Facebook back in 2018, 2019. We run case studies of millions of dollars across dozens of verticals to prove things work or they don't work. 6 to 9 months after we prove all of that, we meet and Facebook learns what it is that we're doing, because we have to prove the efficacy of it over time, repeating these things dozens and dozens of times. So by the time Facebook learns what to do, you're 6 to 9 months after the thing being done. Then those gurus and experts that eventually might listen to Facebook, it might take them 3 months, 6 months, 9 months to listen. Then they run their own studies, which might take 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and then they teach it to you with their out of context, myopic view. So by the time your expert or guru teaches you something, it's 2 or 3 years late. What people are teaching right now on how to combat iOS 14, they're what we've been teaching since 2017, 2018. Going broad, auto placement, not using cost cap, fuck interest groups. Any lookalike audience built off of something like a video viewer or an add to cart is trash. Trying to rely on traffic campaigns and brand awareness and all of these other things to move the needle forward for your e-com business is something you should never do. We don't care about cost per click. We don't care about CPMs. We don't care about click-through rates. We don't give a fuck about first-time impression ratios. We don't care about any of this stuff. And the people that do care because they don't know better. And they don't know better because they learned how to do something from somebody that wasn't good at this. I'm here to try to help you because I'm somebody that did the case studies, that spent the millions and millions of dollars of Facebook's money to define what we're supposed to be doing. That happened years ago. I'm quite now literally seeing people quote work, sometimes often misquoting the work from the Build to Break Summit from 2018, based off the work we did in 2017, is what we're supposed to be doing now. And the honest truth is what iOS 14 did for the world on Facebook is it showed all of the hacks, all of the cheats, all of the ways that people tried to prove they were smarter than the machine were fucking stupid and awful. And those are the things that are failing. The people that reject those cheats and hacks and the idea that they're smarter than a machine learning platform looking at trillions of data points designed by thousands of engineers who've been working for years to make it work, they're seeing more success than ever. There's something that separates the successful from those that struggle. And it generally happens to be on who they learned from. If you are learning from somebody that is not a Facebook buyer, that instead makes their business by entertaining people or running a business and managing others and being a personality, remember, those people are fucking awful at this job. And those people reflect 80 to 90% of the folks out there teaching. And there's a reason why they continue to recycle the same bad information year over year, because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how things work. They don't know the way to make stuff happen. Now, back in the day, I used to drop names, and I'm not going to really do that here because that's just, honestly, I want to be better than that. But you know it. If somebody's selling you a $99 course, if somebody's giving you a $10 ebook or selling some Slack channel for $250, what you can absolutely guarantee yourself is that person has no fucking clue how Facebook works. Their advice is at best 2 or 3 years behind what you're supposed to be doing. And if that person is selling you a solution for $250 or $100, and you expect to get $1 million solution out of it, what you're saying is I'm going to get a 10,000% X, not percent, 10,000X return on my investment. You are never going to get a 10,000 ROAS on your investment. And you're definitely not going to be able to change your business and solve your $1 million problems by listening to mid-20s kids that are poorly trained and overworked and who work for other individuals who make a career out of preaching fear and offering hope while rejecting what they're supposed to do and staying years behind best practices. Now, this is why I ultimately have come in to try to start teaching folks, because I was kicked out of AdLeaks. Because Cat Howell banned me, because Savannah has banned me. All of these folks don't necessarily like what I have to say because I got kicked out of all their Facebook groups because I started to cite all of the case studies that they took credit for. I started to give away the information that they were selling for free because it's available for free already. And because I was able to, on a sustainable, consistent way, provide simple solutions to their customers' problems that massively undermined their business model. And I'll leave you with this. If the person that you are taking advice from, if their business model is to sell pre-recorded information based on one specific use case, and they are not the executioner, and they are not solving problems related to you, understand what that person is doing is saying they don't care about you. And they're trying to sell you a cookie cutter solution to your unique problem. And they are not going to do that with the full context of business development. They're not going to do that by being able to be available for you to ask questions to. And they're not going to be there when the shit hits the fan. They're not the ones out there right now telling you what to do now that Facebook is down and Instagram has crashed. They're not the ones out there telling you what you need to be doing to move your business forward, how to use dynamic ads. I had to literally spend 6 months teaching experts and gurus on Twitter, correcting them on a daily basis, how to extract a post ID from a dynamic creative. And still to this day, so many people are like, I don't use CBO. I will absolutely use lookalikes. I absolutely rely on interest groups, and I'll never use dynamic creative. And those people are solving the same problems they had before. Their ads work for 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, maybe 7. They're duplicating ad sets and trying to find the right target audience, and they're looking at CPCs and all sorts of other completely irrelevant, useless information. Facebook isn't Google. The solution is solving a inventory and demand-based problem like email, Google, YouTube, Pinterest, Snapchat, Twitter, and Amazon, etc. The solution to those problems is very different. On Twitter, not as much. Is very, very different than the solution on Facebook and Instagram, which is the world's greatest of all time ever provider of the opportunity to generate and monetize intent. That's what we're doing here. So when you look at your business, when you look at your ecosystem, right now, what do you not have access to? Every data point that you currently don't have access to is something that you are monetizing at scale for billions of people around the world on millions of websites. That is the tool that right now we are struggling to get access to, and it'll be fixed. Don't worry. The sky is not falling. It'll be back. It's going to be just fine. Facebook's business objective is to provide users to sell that inventory of attention to. If you are caring about Facebook's business model and you are prepared to take advantage of the opportunity that it gives you by being the single greatest resource in the history of mankind of understanding intent and creating interest and awareness and monetizing that attention, then you're going to be in a good place. If you are still worried about trying to outsmart it, you should probably stop running Facebook ads as soon as possible. If you have any other questions with stuff, please DM me. I'm glad to be able to help folks out. This is what I do for a living. I've spent a couple $100 million on Facebook, and I just got so sick and tired of people out there misquoting my work, taking credit for the stuff that me and my colleagues have done, and then selling it to individuals in a predatory, low-integrity fashion. There is an entire industry built around taking advantage of people trying to change their lives. What I do on a daily basis is try to help those who have already been victimized or those that know that they don't want to be. My DMs are full of people who have already wasted hundreds or thousands of dollars on pre-recorded solutions by people who don't give a fuck about them and don't know what they're talking about. That's my why. That's what gets me up in the morning, is helping those people like you see confidence, success, and scale in your business so you can put more money in your pocket and more time in your life. You deserve this. If you want to know more about what I'm doing, I've got a lot of stuff in. This isn't a sales pitch, but yes, I do have the Facebook Ads MBA program. If you want to know more about that, I'll gladly tell you more about it some other time. You can check my channel. That is, by the way, the world's #1 absolute best way of training people how to use Facebook. It's a 9-week live coaching course where it's a 9-week program with 9 individual courses, hours every week with me personally talking to you. I don't have employees. I don't have some 26-year-old kid who's really smart out of college with Excel to try to solve your $1 million problem. I'm here to help you see success. And that has access to an ongoing community that you have access to for life, because when things change, you need to know how to go with it. And every week we have classes. Every week there's Q&As. Every week there's lectures on dozens of topics, and you can come in and ask anything that you want, whether you're a current student or an alumni. If that's too much for you, there's also a light version of that. There's a base, there's a premium model. I also do have a Slack group. I'm not here to try to sell you on all of this stuff. I'm just letting you know that if you're ready to invest in the rest of your life being better and you're sick and fucking tired of being taken advantage of by these low integrity predators, there is a solution for you. And right now, yes, Facebook is down. Instagram is down. WhatsApp is down. The Audience Network is getting up a whole bunch of empty spaces right now. This is an opportunity for you to appreciate what you have, to measure the impact of what Facebook is really doing for you, and to really sit back and stop doing the day-to-day shit and start really moving your business forward. With that being said, I see there's a couple of questions in here. I'm gonna answer them right away, and then I've got like 5 minutes before I have to hop on phone calls because my phone is blowing up. Which I get it. I'm the fucking trusted person on all these people. They want to know what the fuck is going on. I get it. So 2 questions I see here, and then I'm gonna hop. Number 1 says, Entertainment. I'm struggling consistently using broad targeting. I can't figure out the problem. My biggest solution to you: run 1 campaign, get 2, maybe 3 max ad sets, running only dynamic creative, organized by concept, and then optimize your way out of that. If you want to know more information, subscribe to my channel and look through my videos. I will walk you through it. There are literally hours and hours of video to hold your hand through that. You don't need anything else but to get your single campaign out of learning phase and to invest in as few places as possible to get a consistent result, and then focus your resources on doing better than that. Concept of Kaizen. Consistent improvement over the mean will help you win. Second question comes from Rick. Hi, Rick. Great info. Thanks again. What's the meaning of branded and the branded estimated action rate? Well, what we're talking about here is affinity and lift. What words, what images, what video make people want to see what you have to say, feel good about it, make them remember you, and give them a positive interaction and experience on a platform so that your CPMs go down. The better your content fit for the marketplace, the less you spend. As people are trying to force their bad ads on people using shitty fucking tactics and out-of-date targeting, their CPMs are rising to $30, $50, $100. My students and clients are seeing $8, $15, maybe $20 in the US at scale. The $20 CPMs at the US at scale at like $1,000, $5,000, $20,000, $30,000 a day. And some of them are seeing less than $10 CPMs at like $500 a day. And that's because you give a fuck about your customer experience and your vendor. You're providing the system with content so that you're matching their business objective. The average person swipes the height of the Eiffel Tower on a daily basis. Your job is to keep them there. If your content is a liability to Facebook's business objective, they are going to charge you a fucking tax and a premium to show your bad content to people because you are forcing people to get off the platform and feel bad about their experience. Have you ever been on Facebook and you're like, man, these ads are all shit? Well, the people showing you those shitty ads, they're likely not going to be in business next year. Your job is to be the exact opposite. I hope that helps. And yes, I do teach how to measure branded estimated action rate for every bit of copy, headline, and creative, as well as all the other products that you want to test, and verticals, and deals, and offers, landing pages, and brands, and app ideas, etc. inside the MBA program. Rick, I'd love to talk with you about that if you're really interested. I know we've been dancing around the maypole for a while. So anyway, with that being said, best of luck to you. The sky is not falling. The world is going to be okay. I'll see you all on the internet. Bye.